Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2022-23 season. My name is Dan and today we have got the Gameweek 26 episode of 100 Experts where we look at 100 FPL experts, what they're doing this week with regards to all kinds of things, captains, chips, etc. So today I think we've got some really interesting topics, particularly with regards to wild carding and captaincy. Real key decisions, and let me tell you guys, there are some big surprises in today's video. You may have been undecided or on the fence among certain topics this week, but I think you're going to get some answers today, so stay tuned. This is a good one. If you do enjoy this one, please do leave a like, please do subscribe. Let's get on with the video. Okay, so first of all, a quick shout out to the 100 FPL experts, pundits and content creators that helped me out with the data for this video. Go check them out if you see them anywhere around the internet. They really are top managers. So yeah, thank you to these guys. Let's see what they're up to. Okay, so in general, 37% are making one transfer this week, 2% are making two transfers this week, and just 1%, just one person making three transfers. 15% on the wild card. This is probably the most interesting thing from this particular slide, just because I feel like there's been so much talk about wild carding, particularly among FPL content creators on Twitter and on YouTube. But in reality, the actual numbers of people wildcarding is much, much smaller than you might expect. There's actually not that many people wildcarding. Now, a wildcard might be right for some people, particularly if you've made a lot of transfers to bring in Liverpool players or Everton and Wolves players, and you've got some other problem players like maybe Man City players, Eddie Nketiah, maybe causing you a headache. That's going to be a good time for you to wildcard if you do have a few problems. But for many people, in fact, for the majority of people, they do feel that they've got enough in their squad right now that they would rather save their wildcard for a future week, particularly a future week where they can then bench boost immediately after, which is not going to be possible right now, unfortunately, for those going for the early wildcard. So an early wildcard is a good strategy for some people, but clearly not all people. 15% is a pretty low number in the grand scheme of things, and I can see there being much bigger weeks to wildcard. So it's kind of up to you. There is scope to wildcard, but it's not going to be for everyone. In fact, it's not going to be for most people this week. And finally, guys, 45% not making any transfer this week, looking to roll that transfer into double game week 27, where we can make some big moves to bring in the likes of Brighton and Brentford players. So we're not seeing a huge game week really for making loads of transfers. Not many people are making two transfers. Only one person's making three transfers. Loads of people making no transfers, but a few people are using their wildcard. So a real diverse kind of different approaches going on to the remainder of the FPL season. I think it's going to make things very, very interesting indeed. But yeah, that's what we got in general. Let's go into some more detail. So here are the most popular Game Week 26 transfers among all FPL managers. We can see Tony is at the top, 106,000 transfers in. We've got Rashford up there with Watkins as well. So those are the big three transfers this week. Two forwards there in Tony and Watkins, and Rashford is in there. A few people looking to bring him back after his blank in 25, I guess. So among these players, who are our experts also interested in? Well, actually a few of these players. So Tony, Watkins, me, Mitoma and Estupinian, those guys are also being transferred in by our experts, I guess. So yeah, there's a little bit of crossover here in terms of which players are good to go for. I think for a lot of people, they've probably got it mostly right. I would say that some players on here are kind of not really favoured by FPL kind of experts, I guess. But let's have a look at the players on this list that are not being transferred in by any of the 100. Rashford, Shaw, Fernandes, Saka, Kane and March. Now, there is different reasons for this. So, for example, Rashford, I know that I think it was only one or two of our FPL experts actually sold Rashford last week. So, it's really a case of pretty much everyone who has Rashford, like, you know, it's because they want him and they wanted to keep him, and they were never really thinking about selling him anyway. And I imagine maybe the people who did sell Rashford are actually bringing him back in on a wild card, which is not data that we record in these videos, the wild card drafts, because it will just take way too long, unfortunately. But yeah, certainly Rashford, it's not that he's a bad transfer in, it's just that, you know, everyone who wants him has already got him, I guess. Shaw, Fernandes, kind of similar situation maybe. We have got a situation where both of these Man United guys are going to blank. Oh, well, all of the Manchester United guys, I guess, are going to blank in Game Week 28. So maybe that's factoring in to decision making. And I feel like there's just other players to go for in these kind of positions. We've got Saka, Kane and March there as well. No one really bringing them in. If you want them, you've probably already got them, I guess. March is not as popular as the likes of Mitoma or McAllister among FPL, well, top FPL managers, I guess. But yeah, certainly there's a few players here that are good players, but, you know, people who wanted these players will already have them, and maybe there's a few people out there kind of lagging behind a little bit, trying to catch up, bringing in some of these players. But Raya is also there. He's got a little bit of favour, I guess. He's probably the goalkeeper that a lot of experts are going for at the moment. All right, let's look at the most popular transfers out, and Darwin Núñez is top of this list. So obviously a lot of people brought him in for the double game week, maybe a little bit disappointed with him, maybe kind of regretting that one a little bit and looking to ship him out immediately, or maybe, you know, very happy to go for Darwin Núñez, trying to play the upside of the double game week, but didn't really want him beyond that double game week, particularly with other great forward options. So different reasons for selling Darwin, but certainly lots of good ones. So he is the most popular transfer out among the 40 experts who are making transfers this week. We've got Andreas being sold here as well, alongside Mahrez, a couple of midfielders there. Nketiah, a few people selling him. Obviously, we are a little bit worried about his game time, certainly in the long term, but also a little bit of worry in the short term as well, which is not something we expected to happen, but we are where we are. Man City defenders here as well. Akanji, Ake, they're just troublemakers at the moment, aren't they? Luke Shaw being transferred out, and Trent Alexander-Arnold being transferred out as well. So another Liverpool guy being removed from the teams following that double game week, looking to move on to future double game weeks rather than the past double game week players. But who is being brought in? Well, Tony is also the most popular player among experts, so I do want to talk about this one very, very briefly because I know a lot of people are a little bit concerned about this one. So yes, Tony has pleaded guilty to a number of gambling offences, which means that he is going to have a trial to kind of, with the FA, to try and see, you know, is he going to get a ban from football? And yes, that is probably going to happen. It looks like this trial is going to take place in April, so we do have at least a couple of game weeks before we see the likes of Tony being, you know, unavailable for Premier League games. So for now, he is fine. I think he'll be fine for game week 26, 27, 28 as well, and 29 is where things get a bit muddy, I would say. But I still think he's probably going to be good for game week 29 as well. We don't know exactly when the trial is going to be. There's still a lot of complications because he's kind of denied some allegations, which is going to draw things out a little bit. So the kind of general opinion, the general consensus right now is that for now, Tony is fine, and because of his multitude of fixtures, you know, double in 27, he actually has a fixture now in game week 28 and double again in 29. Makes him a really good option for so many reasons, even a captaincy option for game week 27 as well. So yeah, a lot of people looking to bring in Tony. I would definitely say that it's fine to bring him in. We'll see in a few weeks if that situation changes, but I think it is worth going for him still, given that how high the upside is. We've got Ben Mee here as well, so going for a Brentford defender is definitely very popular. We know that Brentford have been really strong defensively recently, really strong actually, keeping plenty of clean sheets, not really conceding too many goals. So particularly with those double game weeks, we're expecting the likes of Ben Mee, Pinnock, and also Rico Henry to get a few clean sheet points and maybe the odd attack in return as well. Estupiñán is popular despite his slight injury, and remember guys, we don't know the full extent of a lot of players' injury status right now, so maybe some things can change between now and deadline, but Estupiñán is still very popular. He's kind of considered the best Brighton defender to go for right now, so therefore a few transfers in for him. Yeah, so just in general, guys, you can see there's a couple of, you know, double game week or upcoming double game week defenders there, but people are going for them slightly early, one game week early. We know that Brentford and Brighton play the likes of Fulham and West Ham. So if you've got a defender right now that you don't really like, maybe there's a good opportunity to go 1 week early and see if you can get a clean sheet out of the slightly easier fixtures. We've got Mitoma here as well. Watkins also popular, McAllister, and like I said earlier, Raya is slightly popular. If you're going for a goalkeeper right now, Raya seems to be the guy to go for. But with all of that information, let's suggest some transfers before moving on to captaincy. Okay, so Darwin Núñez out for Ivan Toney. That seems like a pretty straightforward move for you guys to go for. If you're not making it this week, you're probably going to make it the week after anyway. So, yeah, definitely a move that you guys should be considering. I think that is probably what I would be doing if I was a Darwin owner and I wasn't wildcarding, I guess. But if you're not confident about Toney, if you are really worried about his impending ban, probably going to happen at some point in this season. We don't know exactly when. So if that's something that worries you, maybe Ollie Watkins is kind of an alternative player there. He does have that fixture in game week 28 and a double in 29 as well. So no double in 27, but still has a decent amount of fixtures in the same period. And if you are a big money baller, you've got a bit of money in the bank, and you can afford to do Nketiah to Toney, that is also a move that should be strongly considered. Again, you know, if you're an Nketiah owner and you have money in the bank, I think this is a very strong move as well. All right, so Ben Mee and Pervis Estupinian, those are both defenders we want to be having a look at right now. It's difficult to say which defender you should be selling because certainly among our experts, there was a real variety of different defenders being sold. So we have the likes of Man City defenders. If you've got Man City defenders you don't really like, could move those players on. If you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's probably not a really player you want to own for the long term. So again, very easy to move Alexander-Arnold out for a Ben Mee or Estupinian there, or whoever else you have. You know, some people will still have Cancelo or Doherty or someone like that. Or Thiago Silva, who recently got injured. If you've got a defender you don't like right now, I would go for this move again. I would use that transfer. I wouldn't save it. I would see if we can get ahead, take advantage a little bit, providing these players are fit, of course. And finally, Mahrez to Mitoma. So if you want to go, again, 1 week early on a Mahrez out kind of move, you're worried about Mahrez's game time, you don't like the Newcastle fixture for Man City, then Mitoma is a good player to go for as a replacement. Maybe McAllister there as well. We do like the look of McAllister a little bit when he is playing it just behind the striker, which he has been doing in the Premier League. He's also on penalties and he's taking a lot of shots on at the moment. So definitely some good data from McAllister if you have enough faith that he's going to continue to play in that attacking midfield role rather than his kind of deeper midfield role that he's perhaps been playing in the past. So yeah, there's some more suggested transfers for you. Let's finally have a look at captaincy, where things are interesting. I definitely did not expect these results, so I'm going to share them with you. Well, we have got Saka as the #1 captain pick for the first time this season. So a new entry into our experts captain picks for the game week 26. Pretty nice, 42% against Bournemouth at home. It's a good fixture. Saka on penalties as well, super nailed on. Arsenal not really in any other competitions, well, aside from Europe, but you know, maybe there's not going to be too much focus on that when Arsenal are leading the Premier League. So yeah, very, very big fixture for Arsenal. Every fixture is, and it's a very easy fixture as well for Saka, who's playing so well at the moment. So very high upside here, but it is a single game week, so maybe not as much confidence as in previous game weeks, like last game week where people were captaining Salah in his double, because we have got a fierce competitor, Erling Haaland, on 41%. So only 1% splitting the two most popular captain picks for this game week. And I know that is not helpful to you guys. I know you guys are probably already shouting in the comments, who should be my captain, Saka or Haaland? Well, the experts can't decide either. That is so close that you may as well call the two even. Newcastle, not the easiest fixture in the world, but Erling Haaland is just a beast. It's a home fixture as well. We saw what Haaland did last game week, and I'm sure a few people were wishing that they did captain Haaland last week, even on a single game week, so maybe that could be a really good one. But we have got some differentials here. So Rashford is on 9% against Liverpool. You imagine that the form of Rashford right now, playing up against Trent Alexander-Arnold, might be a pretty decent matchup for him there. So that could be really, really good for a player in this level of form right now. Maybe his game time is a little bit of a worry because he has been playing so much football recently, and we know he's had a little knock recently as well. Ødegaard is there on 5% against Bournemouth. Again, good fixture. So in a sense, Arsenal midfielders are kind of, I guess if you add the Arsenal midfielders together, they are, you know, slightly further ahead as the most popular kind of captain pick. I don't know if that impacts your decision. We've got 2% on Harry Kane as well, away against Wolves. So yeah, one other differential to consider. And also 1%, I'm not putting it on screen right now, but also one person going for Salah against Man United. I guess it's a home fixture for Salah. It used to be the rule that you always captain Salah at home against Manchester United. Certainly something that worked out very well last season. So, hey, maybe it works out this season as well. Who knows? He does like that fixture. But, yeah, so differential that I've not bothered putting it on screen. But certainly what I will say, and I've said this before, when the captaincy is this split, don't be afraid to go differential. If you have a lot of confidence in a certain player, you have to know that in the kind of game week where captaincy decisions are so split, no one player can hurt you. You know, we're not going to have a 200% effective ownership Erling Haaland this week. It's not going to be anywhere near that because people are going to be going for some different players this week. So, you know, if you don't fancy Saka or Haaland for whatever reason, don't be afraid to go for Rashford or Ødegaard or Kane if you do like the look of those players. This is a good week to go for a differential captain, but if you are going to try and be a little bit sensible, I guess, Saka, Haaland, these are your two guys. Which one do you want me to tell you to go for? I can't make that decision. The experts can't make that decision. you kind of have to flip a coin in many ways. Maybe we'll kind of discuss that a bit further on the deadline stream this week. But there are your captain picks for Game Week 26, according to our FPL experts. Okay, thank you so much for watching this, guys. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like. Please do subscribe if you're new around here. Make sure you've got notifications on as well, because we are going to be doing a stream tonight after the final games of Game Week 25, because we're also going to get some really good information about the FA Cup future, which is going to impact double game weeks and blank game weeks further on down in the season. So yeah, we've got a lot of strategy to talk about tonight, where we can really start formulating some plans. So yeah, gonna be a good one. Hope to see a few of you guys there. But until then, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later, mates. Bye bye.